Hello, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lydia. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So this is my second book video. I'm still really nervous to make this video because, again, I don't speak eloquently, but I'm excited to get into the books that I've read this month. We are jumping the gun just a tiny bit because it is only April 20th, but I need this video to go up next week because I have a lot of fun things planned at the end of the month, so that's just how the cookie crumbles. So I will go through the books that I'm currently reading right now, and if I finish them, maybe I'll mention them in another video or something, but this is what we're working with right now. So let's get into the books that I read in the month of April. So I am typically a physical book girl. This is a fake out. This is a lie right here. I read none of these books this month because I read all on the Kindle app on my phone. So again, I prefer a physical book, or I used to. I had swore that I would never read a Kindle. I did not want to be on my phone. I do not have a Kindle, but I do have the Kindle app on my phone. And there was a book that I really wanted to read. I had finished the physical books that I had with me at work, and so I found a book on, I think it's Kindle Prime reading, whatever. And so got into that and like fell down the rabbit hole with the Kindle. So all of these books were on my Kindle this month. I'm gonna try to get back to the physical books, a couple times a month, but I really do prefer at this time to read on my Kindle app on my phone. I started reading heavily to get off of my phone, and so it kind of feels like a little conflicting to me, but I am staying off of like TikTok and Monopoly Go and stuff like that, which is the real reason that I started reading. So my screen time's not going down, but it's not going down because I'm spending a whole lot of time reading on my phone. So it balances itself out, right? So the first book that I read this month was The Perfect Marriage. It is by Geneva Rose. I could be pronouncing the names wrong, so forgive me. This was the book that made me start reading on the Kindle, and oh my gosh, fantastic. It says that I read this, what does that say? I read this in a day, and I gave it a 5-star. This is a book about a husband and a wife. The wife is she is a lawyer, a criminal attorney, and she decides to take on her husband as a client. So I won't say any more. This book was fantastic. The twists and the turns, I could not have even predicted it. It was such a good book. I really love thrillers, and this like knocked it out of the park for me. The next book that I read is probably, I know it's my favorite book this month, but it may be my favorite book this entire year. I know we're only in April, but I think this takes the cake for the best book I have read ever. It is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I'm not like a romance girl, but I am the type of person that if I see it recommended multiple times, especially like by people that, like creators that I know I love, and I kind of trust what they have to say about books, I will read it. And so this book was that for me. Caitlin Kelly over at Magically Caitlin, Blair Lamb over at Blair Lamb on YouTube, and there were a few other like people locally that I know that like recommended this book, and I am so glad that I took that recommendation from them. This book is about heartbreak and soulmates and young love. I just don't have any words for how deeply this book touched me. I really think that I read it, let me go look. I read it in like 4 hours, not 4 hours. I read it in like 6 or 7 hours. I ended up not being able to sleep one night, or the night that I started this. So I started this at work like at the end of the day, 4 or 5 o'clock. I don't remember, not 5 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock. It was after lunch. And so read some of it, and then when I got home, I read a little bit more, went to sleep, woke up, and I finished this book at 4 a.m. I woke up at midnight and kept on reading and kept on reading and kept on reading. This book was so good. If you don't like spice, which I normally do not, if that's something that is not for you, this is not going to be the book for you. It does have some scenes where it's a little spicy. to some, you may literally laugh at me. That's okay. Some people in my circle do not like spice. So if you don't like spice, this book is not for you. But if you do, the story is not surrounding that, in my opinion. It's just a sweet story about true love and soulmates and heartbreak and loss, and it's just, it was such a beautiful story. I still think about the characters to this day. So the next book that I read is Ask for Andrea. It is by Noelle. I do not know how to say the last name, so I'll just, again, it'll just be popped up over here. This book, I don't really normally read the summary, what the book's about. It's a toxic trait of mine. I just like to be surprised along the entire way. Like, if it has a good rating and people suggest it, I generally just go for it. This book, I wish I would have known. It's about pretty much a serial killer that stalked his victims and all of that. That's not the part that I didn't love. It focuses very, very heavily on the afterlife and haunting and like stuff like that. If I think too long about it, it freaks me out. Like, that's just something weird about me. Like, just not being in control really freaks me out. And so like them not being able to like pass on really and like their souls go somewhere freaked me out like to the max. The story was good. I just kind of couldn't get over that. I gave it a 4-star. The ending really wrapped everything up nicely for me. It probably would have been a 3-star. Not that it was a bad book. It just like, it was okay. It really didn't like, I probably wouldn't read it again. It was just one of those books. It was not bad. It just wasn't my cup of tea. So if that sounds like something you would like, go ahead. It's not a bad book. It's just, I was just a little uncomfy reading it the whole time just because of like personal phobias of my own. So the next book that I read is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I love her. A lot of people don't like her. I think she's an acquired taste. If you are looking for a author that writes super like descriptive and deep and stuff like that, she is not your girl. She's a really easy to read. I speed read through her stuff. It's always good most of the time. I'll get to that in just a minute. But I typically love her stuff. She's always got like the most out there twists that you can imagine, but I love it. So this book was no different. I read The Housemaid, the first 2 Housemaids, a couple weeks ago, maybe last month. Loved those. This book was spectacular. It is about a couple looking for a home, and they come upon a home that has been abandoned by the owner, an author, and a therapist. This story, I literally did not know what was going to happen. I thought 90 pages in that I knew, without a doubt, I knew, but I did not. It was such a good book. I literally did not see any of the ending coming. I hope that doesn't spoil that for you. I know some people literally don't want to know that there's a twist in a book, but like, if you read Frida, you know that like her endings, they're normally pretty twisty. So I had no idea what was going to happen in this book. I loved it. It was so good. 5 stars for me. So the next book that I read was Same Time Next Year. Did not like this book. I'm surprised that I finished it. It was a short book. I think that's why I finished it. Again, it came highly suggested. I don't know how. If you like this book, I'm not yucking your yum, but I did not love this book. I gave it a 2-star, and I think that's the lowest I've ever given a book. I had given it a 3-star, and after like I really sat and thought about it, I did not love it. You'll have to just read it. It's about this girl who, let me go. Okay, yeah. This book is about a fake marriage. That part doesn't bother me. It is the male main character. I've never read anything by her. I don't like spice, and literally this entire book was that, and it was just like icky. Some of the stuff, some of it was just really icky to me. So I'm literally not judging anybody that loved this book. It was not for me. Not for me at all. That's all I have to say about that. That's really annoying. I just spilled coffee all on the front of my shirt. It is what it is. So the next book that I read this month was The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. After that Tessa Bailey book, I really needed something I knew that was going to like, that I was going to like. And so I started The Perfect Son. I rated that a 4-star. It is about a son who, or a family, and the son, they think that he is some kind of like psychopath, sociopath, and so it just goes through this story. This girl goes missing. All signs lead towards the son. I hope that doesn't spoil anything. I'm pretty sure that's on the back of the book. Yes. So, that is on the back of the book. But, this was good in Frida fashion. There was a twist. I loved it. It was so good. Sorry if the angle changed. I had to change my battery. So the next book that I read, again, another Frida book. It was The Teacher. So, if you do not like the student-teacher thing, not for you. Don't love that. The ending for me, like the resolution of just the story, that redeemed the book for me. It took it from a 2-star to a 3. I find the student-teacher thing very icky and gross. I was going to be a teacher. My dad was a teacher. My aunt is still a teacher. So that like just, I don't know. I didn't love it. The storyline, other than the student teacher love affair, loved. It was really good. I just really could not get over like the manipulation of a young child like playing on her emotions and stuff. Not for me. If you, that doesn't bother you, this is a good book. But like it just hit a little too close to home with family members have like being currently. I was going to be a teacher. I just couldn't imagine, and just like how a girl was taken advantage of. Just don't love it. But it wasn't a terrible book. I just do not love the student teacher plotline. It just really gives me the ick. But I'm not judging you if you do like it. Again, like you like the books you like, I like the books I like. So the teacher just wasn't it for me. So the last book that I read was The Stillwater Girls. It is by Minka Kent. This book was so good. So good. I really had no idea what was going on in the beginning. I think I read the back of this book. I had no idea how everything was going to mesh together. I could not figure out like timeline, where we were. But once everything like got going, it was so good. This whole entire book was so good. I will probably read this book again, and I don't do that to a lot of books, but so this book is about 2 sisters that were raised like Little House on the Prairie, and just things happen and they are introduced into the real world, and they have to face some like really tough realizations, and it's just like a spectacular book. Such a good book, 5 stars, totally recommend if that sounds like something you're into. So right now I am in the middle of 2 books, and I will probably finish at least one of them, if not both of them, by the end of the month. Probably not by the time this video goes up, because I think it goes up Wednesday and it's Saturday. So probably not by then, but it is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelades. Let me go back. I'm sorry. I'm just in the Kindle app. Michaelades? Something like that. I am like 15 pages in. It is a slow go for me. I'm hoping that it picks up because it comes so highly recommended, but so far I'm having a hard time getting into it. I normally don't read more than 1 book at a time, but because it is so slow to get into, I started Bridesmaid for Hire by Megan Quinn. I've gotten through like page 1. I started that and then got distracted, and then I've been running around all day. So I've heard this is a really good book. I wanted to pick it up when I was at Target because the cover was really cute. I judge a book by its cover every time. I will. And so the cover got me for this one, and then everybody recommends it. So I think I'll like this one. I hope I can finish it by the end of this month, but if I don't, I'll just carry it over into May. So no problem there. So if you like this video, give it a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what books you read in April. Have you read any of the books that I've read? I want to hear your thoughts on if you read Love in Other Words. It was like my top book for this month and most likely this year. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.